Hello friends, welcome you all to another episode of Beginner Basics in honor of King's Jungle gameplays. So today I will be explaining you about the strategies on how to invade, also with some advanced tips and tricks on that part and overall compilation of how to play jungle. So welcome you all to the channel guys. So let us begin. The best heroes I would recommend for invading are the Prince of Landling and Showy. So these guys have inbuilt stealth mode on their own. So yeah, that is why these guys are so easy for you to like go into the enemy side and get the creeps or the buffs what you need and get back out safely. So now you're thinking about I can use Showy in the jungle, but no, let me explain. The main point of invading the jungle is to disrupt the enemy jungler's farm. Okay, so which will result in the lack of gold and XP for their team and also the jungler. So it will be a good thing when if team fight happens, so we will have the higher gold and it is best for our team. But you have to be a little bit more extra careful in the early games, because during the first 4 minutes into the game you will deal only 90% of your damage, because normally if you go into the enemy jungle it will reduce your damage by 10%. So it is the early game thing, so you shouldn't try to end the match as soon as possible, right? So that is why they have kept it like that. So if you are inside the enemy jungle you should be careful about that, so you shouldn't go alone unless you have a lot of gold. Now let us talk about the heroes I've mentioned for the invading purposes. So first is Prince of Landling. So he's a jungler as you all know, and how invading works with him. So if the enemies are unaware of you, then you can just use your stealth ability, which will be there for you at the start of the game itself, so don't worry about it. So it's much more easier, and the main thing in the early game invade is being unnoticed by the enemies. So you can sneak into the enemy jungle and clear the main golem, and you can return, because if you stay longer than that there is a chance you may get caught. So make sure to keep your greediness into your pockets and come to your jungle and farm your part of the jungle, because it is your main source of gold and XP. Invading is just the secondary part. Now with Showy, you can try to camp near the tyrant camp and just try to snipe the enemy buff when he tries to take it, or if you are in the opposite side, or like then you can just try to be sneaky and go into their red buff side and take the red buff, then sneak away. So now most of you are guessing why I am talking of taking only the buffs, not the other things. I know it will come to this, and I have a perfect explanation for that. Because in the entire jungle except the monsters, the buff golems are the most valuable things which will give you more gold and XP. Added to that, stat buffs are also there for 70 seconds. They will give you stat buffs, so it will be more useful for a lot of heroes. And also if you get one of the buffs in the early game, the enemy doesn't have a chance to get to level 4 at the end of the jungle. Okay, unless if he clears the mid lane or any other lanes, he doesn't have a chance of getting to level 4 if you get one of the main buffs. So that is the main reason. So it is not a bad thing, isn't it? So that is why. Also the buffs are located at the center parts of the jungle. Also you will have some brushes nearby, and you can just stand inside the brush, bring the buff inside, and you can just kill it within it, and the enemies can't notice, which is not that hard. But if you can if you try to get the creeps, there are still a chance that you will come into enemy vision and the enemies will gank on you. Then it will be like ding 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 ding. Okay, I get it. You didn't understand, so now you will understand. Okay. So now let us talk about how and when to invade, also how to counter the enemies from invading too. You thought you are the only one who can invade, huh? Naughty boys, that is not gonna happen, eh? Okay, let's see. Normally you will invade in the start of the game. You will have 30 seconds for the first set of your jungle to spawn, right? So you can just get to the enemy jungle without getting any attention. You can invade with any heroes, but you have to be extra careful for others, because they don't have have any invisible abilities like Prince of Landling, right? So you have to be extra careful not to fall in the eyes of the enemy. So you have to pick the best route to reach the jungle without getting caught. Now if you won a team fight and killed the enemy jungler, then you can just go into the enemy jungle and clear a complete side of the jungle which is nearby the fighting spot. Okay, it would be an easy task to do. And now if your teammates destroy the towers, then the enemies will lose the stable vision around that area. It will be very easy for you to sneak in and steal the enemy jungles. It will be so hard for them to keep track of it. I'll explain how this works in detail. Let's see the map, guys. Now if you get these first 3 towers, then you can easily access this part of the jungle, and then if you get the next 3 sets of towers, then you can access the whole enemy jungle, and vice versa. The enemies can also kick your ass if it happens to their side. So now if the enemy is trying to invade, but you are the only one in the jungle and no one cares to help, then just leave and go to the opposite side of the jungle and keep jungling there. And if you are invading solo and the enemy saw you, then just find a way to escape. Don't try to fight and die like me. And now if your teammates are in the enemy jungle and you are in your jungle farming, then it would be best you should complete your side and then you should join them. Okay, if the enemies keep on invading your jungle and your teammates can't stop them, then start to split pushing. It's better because mostly 3 enemies will be invading your jungle, so it would be easy for them to suppress you. So there will be one in the other lanes, so yeah, your team can kill them and take towers by split pushing. Also friends, if the enemies are invading your jungle, it is the main responsibility of your support to give vision of the enemies in your jungle. So he should rotate in your part of the jungle and show the vision. And also if it is a clash lane, then in the clash laner should be in your jungle giving vision of your buff so that the enemies won't invade. Okay, so this will happen in the early times of the game. So in the mid games that it won't be necessary because most of the team fights will happen in any one of your jungle sides. And if you are in good sync with your teammates, whenever you get to meet with your support, try to get 1 or 2 small creeps from the enemy jungle. It is not a lot, but it will be in the long run. As I said before, try to farm as quick as you can. Target only the enemies carry, the mid laner or the farm laner. If the enemy carries jungler or clash laner, then just leave it to your teammates. It should be taken care of by your team because you can't possibly do anything to them if you have a low gold. Upgrade your most valuable abilities and most damage abilities and use them wisely, friends. Don't waste it. Also friends, if you are playing a mid laner, you should also try to steal some small creeps that will put the enemy jungler in a bad position. I think I explained everything you have to know. Yep, if you have any doubts regarding this, you can just ask me in the comments and I will be getting back to you as soon as possible. And also you can ask which video you want to see next. It will be there for you guys. Also friends, if you are watching this episode as the first video, then I doubt you can understand a lot. So don't forget to check the previous 3 episodes of this series. With all this, I think you have got a general idea of how to play jungle, farm, engage, retreat and other strategies too. And I hope you find this video helpful, so make sure to hit the like to support me guys. I have worked hard for this video, and to watch the future content, subscribe too. So thank you for watching and see you all guys in the next video. Until then, bye bye and have a great day. This is Seronix signing off. Bye bye.